Hello, I'm Bill Dawson, horticulturalist, and I'm here at Oakland Nursery, the Columbus location on Oakland Park Avenue. And June is Perennial Plant Month, and I'm here with Kelly Collins.
Hello.
He's the perennial manager, hard goods manager, and he's the one to talk about perennials. So I've got some questions for him. We want to show off some of these great perennials here. Some folks are a little bit confused sometimes. Perennials.
Sure.
What's the difference between a perennial, an annual, and a biennial?
So a perennial is a plant that comes back every year, and it'll bloom throughout the spring, summer, or fall. And then in the wintertime, it will go into the dormancy period. And then the following spring, it will come back again and do the same thing perpetually. Annual is a plant that won't make it through the winter typically. So it'll die back, and you'll have to plant a new one the following year.
Biennial, that's kind of confusing even to me. You know, they have a 2-year life cycle.
Yeah, a 2-year life cycle. Typically it comes in seed. The first year it'll come up and it'll be foliage only. Second year it'll come back and it will be foliage and flower.
And then it'll reseed itself.
Reseed
From there
itself,
on, start to cycle over.
Exactly.
So it's great to have all of those in your garden for color all year round. But perennials, you can get that too. You can really cycle in different colors throughout the season. So if I'm designing my perennial garden, that's one of the things I'm going to look at. I'm also going to look at where am I planting, sun or shade, and I have a little bit of both. So what am I looking at if I'm looking at sun and shade?
Yeah, correct. So on this side here we have all shade plants, and over here are all sun plants. So a typical shade garden, very commonly used hostas here. Beautiful, a lot of variation in size, mature size, and color in the leaf as well. Some really nice coral bells here, yellow, some red ones. Also, if you can see here, some really miniature hostas. You stay very small and some that get very large, almost 4 feet tall.
So they're all great for flowers and foliage. You know, it's nice to have that color variation in the foliage, but it also is going to get a flower.
Yep, absolutely.
And I've seen hummingbirds come to my hostas, and you know, certainly a pollinator.
Yep. And of course you have a stilbe here. It's a beautiful, long blooming perennial for shade. So you get some nice height with these plants.
Let's talk sun, because I've also got a lot of sun and some great color when you get into the sun.
Absolutely. Some of our best perennials are native here. Coral, cone flowers here, echinacea, coreopsis, and betony. Of course, you have some oriental and Asiatic lilies. Everybody loves a stargazer. So you have a lot of nice variation in color. You have some really nice fragrance. A lot of variation in height as well. So you can really balance the garden out from front to back.
Right, they're also gorgeous. And perennials are typically going to multiply, don't you? They're going to get bigger every year.
Yep.
And you can divide some of those at certain times of the year to get more of them. Free plants. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
A little bit of maintenance. Talk to me about, you know, what's your typical maintenance on there?
Simple
deadheading?
Deadheading when they're done flowering. If you choose, you'd prefer it to look a little bit cleaner, you can snip off the flower, say this was done, just snip it back down here. Still looks really nice in the leaves and the foliage. Sometimes you keep your eyes out for leaves that might start looking bad. You can snip those off as well at that time.
Great.
And then the late fall, when they start going into dormancy, if you choose, you want to have a nice clean garden, you can remove some of that plant material, or choose to leave that in the garden if you want.
I tend to leave mine for the wildlife. You know,
exactly.
nesting material, seeds, that for the wildlife. But some people do like a cleaner look. So you can trim them back in the fall or in the spring.
Leave it and let it compost back into the garden.
Kelly, thanks so much for explaining everything, talking about the different varieties of perennials. And so really, go to any one of the 4 Oakland Nursery locations and pick out your perennial garden. Now's the time to do it.
Thanks for coming in, Bill.
Yeah, I'll see you next time.